In this video, you're going to learn how to provide more value, and in doing so, you're going to increase your rates. So check it out. Hey everybody, my name is Don Felker. In this show, I teach creative professionals how to start, survive, and thrive in the world of consulting and small business so they can become more independent and financially free. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, how do I make sure that I can make my current clients happy so my contract keeps getting extended? Or what's one of the biggest tips that you can give me when you're consulting? And almost every single time, the biggest tip that I can give is provide more value. Now I'm going to give you a couple of examples, one being in software, the next one being perhaps in copywriting. So let's go ahead and hop into the software example. Let's say, for example, I have a contract with a client and I have to deliver a particular software component that's going to be due maybe in a couple of weeks, could be a couple of days. Now very easily I could implement that in a couple of days and ship it, or a week, and deliver the actual code or feature or project in which is requested. The client can be very happy, and then the contract maybe is done, or if I need to move on to the next component, I do that. How would I provide more value in that situation? Well, it's pretty simple for software. One thing you're going to do is automatically you're going to provide unit tests, provide integration tests. You could also use the most common patterns and practices and make sure that your code is very clean. Now, the client didn't ask for any of these things, and perhaps, especially the tests, they didn't ask for those tests. But what this does is shows the client that you're going above and beyond and delivering something of very high value, more than what they had even asked for. And when you do that, they remember these things. And what I mean by this is, let's say you take the example that we just had of software and delivering tests. Now the client may realize we don't have that great of testing coverage inside of our company, but it looks like you know what you're doing. They may approach you and say, hey, is there any way that you can perhaps train the rest of the team members on how to implement proper testing practices with this unit testing framework? Or can you set us up a continuous integration server, which is something that helps run tests on an automated fashion? What this really comes down to is it shows the client what you're capable of doing and shows them that you're much more valuable than what they previously had thought. At that point in time, more opportunity ends up opening up for you automatically, simply because you went above and beyond. So anything that you've done, if you provide more value than what you're actually, signed up to do, you're going to open more doors because someone's going to remember that. Now, of course, there's going to be situations where that doesn't play into your favor immediately, but this always does seem to come back later on for me. And what I mean by this is, let's take the example. Maybe let's go with the copywriting example now. You're going to be requested to write some headlines and some bullets and a copy for a landing page. And so that's something that you've done, you've delivered that, and it works well. That's fine. But how would you go above and beyond here? Well, perhaps you realize however folks are being funneled into that actual landing page is not optimized, and that can be optimized as well. So what you can do is maybe provide a couple of tips or tricks of how you can optimize that page to help drive traffic to that particular landing page. And perhaps maybe it's a lead generation tool. Now, either one of these examples can kind of root back to the original thing of the client maybe didn't ask for it, they didn't really want it, but they got it anyway. They didn't give you any additional work. But here's what ends up happening a lot of the time down the road, and it's very serendipitous. Eventually, one of these people that works at the company, could be the owner, could be the manager, could be a coworker, knows what you're capable of doing, has seen it and is impressed with it. So what they end up doing then is 1 month, 1 week, 2 months, 2 years, whatever, sometime down the road, they're going to be at a family event, at a business gathering, at a networking event, and someone's going to talk about, wow, we really need to get our unit testing under control, or we need to get a continuous integration server, or hey, gosh, I'm having a really hard time finding a good copywriter who knows how to funnel traffic to particular pages of my site. All of a sudden, what's going to happen is that person will have overheard that and say, hey, you know what? I know of somebody that can help you with that. And they're going to forward your information to that person. And randomly, you're going to get an email or a phone call asking you for your services. This is all because you provided that extra value at a previous time. So it's also kind of very hard to measure if it's going to be successful or when it's going to be successful. But by always continually doing this at every single client you interact with, you create a snowball of opportunity that keeps growing and growing and growing, and more doors of opportunity will end up opening up for you. So it's something to keep in mind. Anytime you're consulting, if you're consulting them to either write copy or write software or design something, always go above and beyond and provide more value than what you had actually promised to deliver. And you'll always end up with a happy client and a happy customer that will either bring more work to you, either directly through your current engagement, or it will be through another passive source or a secondary source, perhaps as a referral. And that's going to be the best way that you can use value to your benefit so you can grow your consulting business. Now, if this is content that you really like and you really enjoy this, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get notified when new videos come out. And I'll see you next time.